most hardworking person in your office is usually the one most likely to be fired or forgotten. Here's the dark reason why being indispensable is actually a career death sentence. I want you to picture two colleagues, same company, same department, same job title when they both started 3 years ago. The first person is someone you probably recognize immediately. They come in prepared. They fix problems before anyone panics. When something breaks at 5 p.m. on a Friday, they are the one who stays. Their manager depends on them completely. Their teammates trust them completely. And yet, 3 years later, they are sitting in the exact same chair with the exact same salary, watching the job posting they applied for go to someone else. The second person is harder to like but impossible to ignore. They talk loudly in meetings. They always seem to be near whoever matters most in the building. When something goes right, they are somehow in the middle of it. When something goes wrong, they are somehow just outside of it. This person was promoted 8 months ago. They are being considered for another one now. Same company, same start date, completely different trajectories. And here's the part that nobody explains. The first person is not losing because they are doing the wrong things. They are losing because they do not realize there is a second game being played right next to them, one they were never told about. Today, I am going to show you exactly what that game looks like. And once you see it, you will never be able to unsee it. Here's the first thing nobody tells you when you start a job. Hard work makes you valuable, but it also makes you invisible. Think about how this plays out. You are reliable, so your manager gives you more responsibility. You handle that well, so you get even more. Before long, you are doing the work of 1.5 people. Your name is attached to everything critical. And your manager cannot imagine the team functioning without you exactly where you are. That last sentence sounds like a compliment. It is actually a trap. The moment you become indispensable in your current role, you become too risky to move. Your manager is not blocking your promotion out of malice. They are doing it out of self-preservation. Losing you from your current seat creates a problem for them. So they leave you exactly where you are, tell you that you are doing an incredible job, and give you a slightly better bonus instead of a title. Meanwhile, the toxic employee is playing an entirely different game. They are not trying to become indispensable. They are trying to become visible. And those two things could not be more different. Now let us talk about who these people actually are. Because once you know their names, you will start seeing them everywhere. The credit thief. This one is almost admirable in their precision. An idea gets floated in a small meeting. Nothing formal. Just a thought someone throws out. A week later, that same idea is being presented to senior leadership. And somehow the credit thief is the one presenting it. They did not steal it exactly. They picked it up, polished it, put their name on it, and walked it upstairs. By the time anyone notices, the credit has already landed. The handshakes have already happened. And the person who originally had the idea is sitting in the same meeting watching it happen, too stunned to say anything. Have you ever wondered why your most incompetent coworker just got a corner office while you got more work? Tell me their superpower in the comments. The silent blamer. This person leaves no fingerprints. When a project succeeds, they were central to it. When it fails, they were the ones quietly raising concerns weeks ago. Nobody can quite remember the exact conversation, but they will swear it happened. They have a remarkable talent for being present during wins and absent during accountability. They never say anything directly damaging. They simply ask questions. Curious, innocent-sounding questions that make other people look unprepared. And when the review happens, somehow the blame has settled on everyone except them. The chaos manufacturer. This one is the most dangerous and the least recognized. They create small, unnecessary fires. Not big enough to get them fired, just big enough to keep everyone around them reactive and off balance. While the good employee is busy putting out the latest fire, the chaos manufacturer is upstairs having coffee with the department head. They thrive in confusion because confusion makes competence harder to measure. And when competence is hard to measure, personality fills the gap. The strategic incompetent. This one requires a second look because it sounds too calculated to be real. But it is real, and it is common. The strategic incompetent identifies the low-visibility, high-effort tasks, the ones that consume enormous amounts of time but never get noticed by leadership. And then they quietly become unavailable for those tasks. They are suddenly in another meeting. They are suddenly overwhelmed. They make enough quiet mistakes on the invisible work that people stop asking them to do it. The result is that the good employee absorbs all of it. They are exhausted. They are buried. And from the outside, the toxic employee looks free, energetic, and ready for the next challenge. So why does the company allow this? Why do managers not see through it? Sometimes they do, and they do nothing anyway, because toxic employees often deliver real short-term results. They close deals, they hit numbers, they generate wins that look good in quarterly reviews. The damage they cause to morale, to trust, to the people quietly updating their resumes because they cannot take it anymore, that damage is slower and harder to put on a spreadsheet. It does not show up until someone important walks out the door. And then there is something even more uncomfortable underneath all of this. In some organizations, the people making promotion decisions are the same kind of person being promoted. A manager who climbed by manipulating perception is not going to feel threatened by someone doing the same thing. They are going to feel understood. Toxicity does not just survive in certain cultures. In certain cultures, toxicity built the ladder. If you have watched any version of this play out in your own office, here is what I want you to take away. You were not wrong to work hard. You were not naive to believe results would matter. The frustration you feel is not a weakness. It is the completely rational response of someone who was handed one set of rules and then scored on a completely different set. The good employee thinks they are in a test. They prepare, they execute, they deliver. But the toxic employee knows they are in a performance. And performers do not win by having the right answers. They win by commanding the room. You were not losing. You were playing the game you wished existed. It is time to start playing the one that actually does.